You know, I sat down this morning, have my coffee, ready to check some emails, tackle the day, and I'm looking around at my kitchen like, what am I missing? Flowers. I need some fresh flowers. But thankfully, I have lots of flowers right at my fingertips. So I think I'm going to order a couple and let's see what happens.
All right. Hey y'all, so if you've ever considered sending flowers through UrbanStems or Floom or really any online flower company, maybe you've been burned by one before, well, this video is for you. I'm going to talk to you about UrbanStems, my personal experience between UrbanStems and Floom. So I recently ordered from both of these services. Today I'm going to tell you what I got, how much I paid, how long they took to get here, quality, and then we're going to talk a little bit about their websites too. So let's start with the websites. So let's be honest, when you click on a website, if it's not visually appealing, you're likely not going to buy anything from this company if it looks kind of scammy or like you're not going to get your money's worth. Well, UrbanStems, let's talk about them first. So their website is extremely user-friendly. It's very cut to the chase. This is their home screen. At the top, you can go straight into shop by category. They've got some featured collections, their sale options, today and tomorrow rush options, shop by occasion. I love that they have these different packages like a sweet summer birthday where they've included some cookies, and also you can get a flower subscription for $60 a month, flowers delivered to your door every month. Who doesn't want that? So their website is super clean. It's a modern aesthetic, and everything is really easy to navigate, which I really appreciated. The checkout was super easy, and they offer free shipping. So if we're going down here, again, you can shop by birthday, sympathy, all the different occasions. Just because they've got their best sellers down here. And depending on whatever you click on, they offer you some added gifts that you could also purchase. So say I wanted to purchase this, it tells me exactly what I'm getting, detailed. You can order a single, a double, and a triple. They all come like this. So if you get a double, which is what I did, it's literally double of the single bouquet. And also, like over here, so you can add a little something special. Add cookies and candles and some beauty care, bath soap, salt, bracelets, jewelry, candles, all this. So that's just a fun little addition if you're sending a gift to someone. Very detailed description. It tells you down to what all flowers are in. Like this one's just straight peonies, but some others have obviously different options. Care instructions are included, and this is also included when you receive your order. There's a little flyer in the box that tells you specifically to trim the stems, water, change the water, add food every 3 days, keep them cool, So I really liked using UrbanStems. I will be using them again. It's exactly how it is. They nice branding on the outside of the box. When you open it, it's got like a cute little saying, like something for someone special, or there are all these little thoughtful touches. Okay, so let's talk about Floom. Floom is a little bit different because they partner with florists all across the United States and in the United Kingdom, so you can swap if you are in the UK or vice versa. Like this one just swapped me over to UK. I'm going to go back to the United States because that's where I am. But okay, so you can search starting with your zip code, and I would definitely do this because when I initially just scrolled down and started looking through the flowers, I found a bouquet that I wanted. I clicked on it and it said next day delivery. But then once I got into the nitty-gritty of the checkout, it actually could not be delivered until the following week. So a full, like I ordered on a Wednesday and it was delivered the following Wednesday. So a full week, which was a little disappointing, but I already had my mind set on this specific bouquet. So I just went with it. So just keep that in mind when you are on Floom's website, since They are different from Urban Stems in that they use local florists. Urban Stems use district distribution centers based on the region, which means they can get their bouquets to you faster, obviously. But if you pay close attention on Floom, I think you could get your bouquet faster than what I had. Had I paid closer attention, mine were coming from New York and I live in Louisiana, so it was a little different. So their website is still very user-friendly. It's maybe not as detailed as Urban Stems. You can tell they are a smaller company. I do really like that they use local florists. It's not this big warehouse. Each bouquet is going to be crafted specifically by that florist and regional flowers, and you know exactly where your flowers are coming from. So it's something a little more special. But there are other details you need to keep in mind when ordering from Floom that are different from Urban Stems. So for user friendliness, clarity, they're both about the same, but I'm going to say Urban Stems wins here because Floom has a cool concept, pretty designs, but it's not quite as straightforward. You have to do a little more digging to make sure you know exactly what you're going to get, what you should expect to receive, I should say. All right, so let's talk about what I ordered, price, all of that. So first from Floom, I ordered the colorful tulips, and I'm a little confused because when I ordered them, I don't remember it having the two separate options, original and superior. So it says that the original is small size, 15 stems. The large superior is 25 stems. So I obviously got the small, but it was $85. So I'm kind of confused why this says $60 for the original, $90 for superior. So I'm not sure what happened there. It's sold out anyway if you try to order it right now. But I just thought the tulips were really pretty, and I knew that tulips were a more expensive flower, so I knew I was not going to get the amount of flowers that I got with my Urban Stems order, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So for almost $100, the bouquet was beautiful, but it was small. So let me show you. So these are the tulips. They're beautiful, but it was small. This is a pint-sized jar, so like a relatively small mason jar. Gorgeous flowers. Do I think it was almost $100 worth of flowers? Maybe not, but it's coming from New York, and I'm sure their prices are different from Louisiana. So it's a little bit of a splurge. Let's talk about Urban Stems. From Urban Stems, I ordered double the Sorbet. So the single right here, I could have gotten for $68. But I doubled that and I got the double for $122, and it was on sale then too, so I did get it for $122. So you know, that's a little bit of apples and oranges. I ordered a larger bouquet, so obviously Urban Stems is larger, but the flowers are not as expensive in my opinion. There were quite a few carnations, and I know that is a cheaper flower, and then you have some green filler there. Beautiful, but I know that tulips are more expensive. So this one was really lush, full. It looked exactly like this picture. The only thing is it came completely styled, and the directions said snip the ends, put them in water, change the water, feed them with the included plant food every 3 days. And I probably should have done a little more styling to the actual bouquet, pulled up the flowers and moved them around so you could see them a little better, put the greenery down. But you know, I didn't do that. So this is what they looked like, and it was really hard to get a picture because the greenery was kind of around the flowers, but this was the very first day, and some of them were closed, some of them were open. So as they sat in the water, they really got they bloomed out and were more full. So that one and that one, so you can compare the two. So the difference here is this is a quart size jar. This is a pint size jar. So they look similar in size here, but really the Urban Stems bouquet was about double the size of the tulips from Floom. Okay, so delivery, let's talk about delivery. This is a big one because I live in Louisiana and right now we are under a heat wave. Like today, I think it was 103 degrees. So from Floom, I ordered on a Wednesday. The soonest delivery I could get was the following Wednesday. So that's 5 business days. Even though the product page said next day delivery, there was a little miscommunication there. I did get tracking emails. They told me when it was shipped and when it was delivered. That was very helpful because I was able to immediately go outside and get the flowers, get them inside, and cool them off because it's hot. When I opened the bouquet, the sponge at the bottom of the stems was warm. So that did make me a little nervous, but you can see that the flowers were still beautiful coming all the way from New York. UrbanStems, on the other hand, was 2-day delivery, ordered on a Thursday, got them on a Saturday, which Saturday was surprising that I could even receive them on a Saturday, but I did. And they were delivered more mid-morning, so I don't feel like they got as hot. So again, on this one, I'm going to say UrbanStems wins. Packaging and presentation. So, like I said, UrbanStems is a bigger company. So I feel like they kind of had the upper hand here. Their brand, as you can see on that box right there, their brand is on the outside, their brand is on the inside. But the difference is all of your flowers from UrbanStems are coming from UrbanStems retailers, whereas Floom flowers are coming from individual florists all over the country. So you're not going to have that same branding consistency because they're coming from different people in different places. So as far as like opening the box for that wow factor, UrbanStems definitely has that. It was very clear, more like a boutique experience. Open the box and it was really pretty on the inside. There were directions, flower food. However, Floom, there was no branding. I opened the box and it was just the flowers wrapped in paper and then plastic, and no directions, no flower food. So that was a little disappointing. As far as longevity, I didn't think UrbanStems were ever going to wilt. They lasted well over 2 weeks. I think it was day 18 that I needed to give it up because I had pulled so many that were starting to wilt that it was just getting smaller and smaller. So but over 2 weeks of flowers, I was very impressed by this. I don't have the same hope for the tulips from Floom just because I did not receive any flower food, and I think that really helped the UrbanStems last longer, but we'll see. We'll see how long they last. Okay, so the floral vibe, I'm going to just tell you, Floom wins this because I love supporting a local florist, even though New York is not local to me. She is a local florist, individual, small business. So you're not supporting just this huge company with all these warehouses, more like UrbanStems. The problem with that is the consistency. UrbanStems, it's designed in-house. What you see is exactly what you get. It's not the local florist vibe, but it's reliable and fast. Whereas Floom, I think I may have gotten more for my money had I shopped by zip code, because I know that the price difference between New York and Louisiana has to be pretty big. So who wins overall? Okay, so for me, it's UrbanStems. They delivered faster. The bouquet was bigger. It was, I'm not going to say more beautiful. It was just as beautiful, but it was just bigger and more of a showpiece. Packaging felt like a gift, and the flowers lasted. I've never had flowers last that long. Even though I spent more for the double arrangement, that was just the size, and even the single sorbet would have been bigger than the tulips. I really felt like I got more for my money with UrbanStems. Floom, it wasn't a bad experience. It just didn't live up to the price tag. I was expecting more for $100, basically. By the time I paid $14.99 shipping and then like a $4 service fee and then taxes, it was like almost $105. So I guess that may be why I was expecting a little more for $100. It didn't quite live up to the price tag. So if I try them again, I definitely choose a closer florist and double check those delivery options before I check out. But I saw this bouquet and just fell in love, and I had to have it. So I waited the week, and they are beautiful flowers, so I'm not disappointed in that at all. So I think the main takeaway here is you just need to know what to expect. Consistency, reliability, go with Urban Stems. That unique touch from a local small business floral company or florist, go with Floom. But just take into account they're not going to have that same branding as Urban Stems. They're not going to have that uniform touch because it is from an individual. Also, while I was on the website, I did find that there were care for your flowers on the Floom website, some directions, but that would have been helpful to have it in the box when I was taking the flowers out, so that before I put them in water and did all the things that I should have trimmed the ends. And I see that it says to trim them every few days, so we'll see how long they last. But I hope this helped you. I hope my personal experience with both of these companies, like I said, neither were bad experiences. They were just different. So you need to know what you're looking at here. And for me, just the consistency, the wow factor, the easy transaction, got to be Urban Stems.